trying to be a perfect parent or trying to be the perfect spouse, perfect mate, perfect friend, perfect whatever, I got a story to share with you. And it's called, What is the Perfection Story? So I was out in the garage. We had some trim that we needed painted. We got some new wood floors in here. And my son wanted to help me paint the new trim. So I said, oh, that's cool. Let's go ahead and you can help me with the first coat. And so we do the first coat, right? And it can be sloppy and it can be messy and there could be drips and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. So he got done and I got done. I was like, okay, great. So now he said, can I do the second coat? And I said, well, the second coat has to be perfect. And I said, so I don't know about that. Maybe I should just do it. And my wife's standing there, and you know my wife said, just let him do it, you know, let him do it. So I said, okay, let's give it a try here. Let's see how it goes. So I'm painting my board and almost getting done. And, you know, he gets it done twice as fast as I do. And he says, there, I'm all done. That's perfect. And so I went over to the board, and what do I see? Well, I see drips, and I see that he didn't cover certain areas very well, and it's a mess. It's a mess. And so I say, hey, I told you that this is supposed to be perfect, that the second coat had to be perfect. And he looked me straight in the eye, and he said, Dad, this is perfect. He said, perfect means doing your best, and I did my best. So that pretty much stopped me right there in my tracks. And it was a really good lesson for me because I thought to myself, isn't that a great way to look at it? If we want to do something perfect, if we want to be that perfect parent for our child with special needs, the better thing to do is say, am I doing my best? So as a parent with a child with special needs, the better way to look at it is, am I doing my best? And so I know many of you bring your kids here, you do a lot of research, you feed your children well, you're always looking for new methods, new ways to help your child. So I know many of you are doing your best and really are being that super parent, like they said. So I admire and you guys inspire me to keep doing what I do as a parent of special needs because I'm in the same boat. So a cool story to remember. What is perfection? Perfection means doing your best. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about how we can do our best as parents in helping our child with special needs tonight. That's what the whole thing is. Help yourself to help your child. So one quote I wanted to share with you that in thinking about when I get stuck in life or I'm having a problem or I can't get past something is a quote that always resonates with me. And Anat, Baniel, my teacher, shared it with me in the training, and she said the answer always lies in differentiation. So every time that I'm stuck in life with myself or with a child maybe that I'm working with in my practice or maybe my own daughter if I get in a rut with her, it always requires that I upgrade myself first and that I go back to the drawing board because when I try to do it the other way, it doesn't work for me. So I recognize when I'm stuck that I need to help myself to help my child. When I start doing this and getting back in this process of learning, everything starts to shift. I start to feel better. Things work better around the home. I'm able to give better lessons with my daughter, and miracles start happening, little miracles here and there in my practice each and every day. So in thinking about your own situation as a parent or even as a marriage couple, or it doesn't have to be that you're a parent of a child with special needs, it could be anybody. Where do you go to help yourself? Just think about that for a second. Where do you go to help yourself when you're stuck? And I was thinking about the families that come to me, some of the things that they mention that they do, because we're always looking for an outlet or ways to manage our stress, and everybody has different ways. Some people do journaling that come here. Some families, they exercise, they go for walks, they do yoga, they meditate. There's a whole bunch of different things that people do to be able to deal with their stress. Date nights, that's actually a word I'm not too familiar with, but I know couples get to do that sometimes too. So that can be helpful. And some people love music, playing an instrument. So just think for yourself, what are the ways that you have an outlet? Because we're going to be talking about a tool that anybody can access that I guarantee you will help you manage your stress better. And you will feel shifts in yourself. You might feel a number of different things. And so we're going to be actually going through a movement lesson later. But that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is one potent way to help yourself, to help your child, is by doing NeuroMovement lessons. And so there's a number of ways to access those. Anat Baniel has her NeuroMovement lessons on DVD that you can do in your own home. There's practitioners you can go to do lessons if you have some close. Some teach group classes. So these are really a great way to help yourself, and in the big scheme of things, they'll also help your child. The one thing that makes movement lessons more unique than, like, let's say a date night or I don't know, some of these other things that we talked about, is that you get more than just a break. And what's really cool is when you do the movement lessons, you will learn new things about yourself, and you'll also start feeling shifts in your own body, and you'll see that more as possible. Your brain will actually start working at a higher level. So you're able to take everyday life and actually access it at a higher level, and you're able to do more of what you want in your life, which is pretty cool. When you do the lessons, some of the benefits that I notice for myself is it brings me in the now. So I'm not worrying about the future, the past. I'm in the moment, and being alert to what it is that needs to happen now. It gives you time to reflect on the day, on your situation, maybe your stresses, and how you can maybe go about those a little differently to be more effective. It obviously allows you to let go of stress and tension, which is good for sleep, focus. Your breathing a lot of times gets better. You're more creative with yourself and others, and you're able to just do things easier in general. So it's a really cool way to access helping yourself, and then in the long run, you're able to help others. The other cool thing about the lessons that makes them so potent is how you go about doing the lessons. So I used to work out in the gym, and I see how people work out. So it's the no pain, no gain, push harder. The more sore you are, the better. It's that whole mentality of push, push, push. Where in the lessons, you're actually allowed the time to slow down, to reduce the force, and to have flexible goals. You don't have to reach any goal. It's just about becoming aware of what it is you do, how you do it, to pay attention to the subtleties that a baby would pay attention to, and to really start feeling what is going on with yourself and how you can start shifting that into something that's more of what you want. So I think that that's really cool because we live in a fast-paced world. Everything is fast, fast, fast. Everything's about pushing harder, getting it done a lot of times, and we're very driven to a specific goal. Especially if we have a child with special needs. We're always focused on how is it that we can help. So it kind of helps to broaden our range and gives us more tools that we can use to help our child just by giving ourselves a little bit of time to back off and sense what it is and how it is that we do things. So in thinking about those things, do you think that these things would help you and your child to be able to think clearer, to be more creative, to sleep better, to have less stress and tension, to be able to focus better? All these things obviously would help us to be able to help our child better. So what I'm going to do now is actually we are going to be going through a movement lesson. And as we go through the lesson, that's a few of the things that I want you to pay attention to. There's a number of things, actually. The first thing that I want you to make sure that you do when you do the lessons is to go small, make the movement small, make sure you go gentle, and go slow. So I'll say that again because even people still won't go there do that. But small, gentle, and slow. So as we go through the movement lesson, keep checking in with yourself and making sure you're doing that. And so at this time, I'm going to switch. I'm going to actually let my wife sit in on the lesson. I'm going to be teaching the lesson over here on the side. So if you need to look at the instruction, you can see how she's doing it. Last time when we did it, it was flip-flop, so I kind of got confused when I was teaching it. So as you look at Liz, it's going to be like you're looking in the mirror. So I hope that makes sense to you, that's how we're going to be doing it. So I'm going to let her take over here, and I hope you guys enjoy the movement lesson. Thanks. So the first thing that I'm just going to have you do here is just feel for a minute how it is that you're sitting on the chair there. So just feel for a minute how it is that you're resting on the chair. Do you feel like you're sitting tall, you're sitting short? Do you feel heavy or light? And if you had to describe your mood in 2 words, what would they be? In 2 words. So just think about that before we start the lesson. Take your right shoulder and move the right shoulder forward gently. So you move the right shoulder a little forward and then back to place. So you take the right shoulder, move it forward, and then back to place. And feel when you do that, just pay attention to how it is that you do that. So you take the right shoulder a little forward, and then back to place. Is the quality of the movement smooth or jerky? And do you feel any movement elsewhere? You're taking the right shoulder forward, but just feel if you feel any movement in the ribs, in your back, in your pelvis. And see if you can find a way to make the movement of moving the right shoulder forward easier. There, and then back to place. Excellent. And just rest for a minute. So this time what we're going to do is go ahead and put your right hand on your left shoulder. So you're going to take and put your right hand on your left shoulder and you're going to keep it there. And in this position with the right hand on the left shoulder, you're going to take the right shoulder and move it forward in this position, slowly. So the right shoulder forward and then back to place. And sense the movement of the shoulder blade in the back, how it slides forward. Notice the ribs under your right armpit, what they do. And sense if you feel any weight shifting on your sit bones or on your bottom there as you take the right shoulder forward. Excellent. And now just rest. Very nice. So now this time go ahead and put your right hand again on your left shoulder. And to make this movement a little bit easier for you, as you take your right shoulder forward like that, you're going to round your spine and you're going to soften your chest. So the right elbow will actually go towards your left leg. You'll kind of sink, oh, that's it. Sink and then come back a little bit. And feel how softening the chest actually allows the shoulder to move forward easier. That's it. So feel how to take the right shoulder forward and down like that. The chest softens, the back rounds. That's it. And keep the breathing free. Excellent. Very good. That's it. That's right. Excellent. And come back to the middle and just rest for a minute. And already just notice if you feel that the right side, I mean you can see here that her right shoulder, look at the difference in the right to the left already. So you'll feel that some of the tension starts letting go on the right side of your neck. Now to sense how the ribs can participate in this movement on the right side, I'm going to have you go ahead and put your right hand on your left shoulder again like we did last time. But this time you're going to turn your whole body to look to the left. So a gentle movement of turning to look to your left. With your head, eyes, shoulder, ribs, and the whole self. There we go. That's it. And come back. And as you turn, make sure you don't lean back, but that you stay forward and up over your skeleton. And to make the movement even easier, go ahead and shift the weight over to your left side when you turn. Shift the weight over to the left. So you're sitting more on your left sit bone or your left buttocks. That's it. Slowly. Don't look to make it big, but just make to where it's comfortable. Only go where it's comfortable. And feel the whole body can help turn the shoulder. Very good. Excellent. And now just rest for a moment. And in resting, we just give ourselves time to feel the changes, feel how your breathing is, how your sitting is, and any differences you notice from just doing those few movements. You don't have to feel any changes, but just give yourself a second to feel what it is you feel. Now this time we're going to do the opposite. We're going to take the right shoulder backwards. So you're going to take the right shoulder, it's a small movement, backwards and then to the middle again. And feel, is this movement easier or harder for you than taking the shoulder forward? You take the right shoulder back and then to place. Feel when you take the shoulder back. Do you get taller or do you get shorter when you do that? And maybe try one way where you get shorter and then one way where you get taller, and feel how that changes in the back, what you do. There? Excellent. Very nice. And now go ahead, this time as a variation, lean on the right hand behind you. So you'll take your right hand behind you and lean, if it's comfortable, on your hand behind you. Your left hand will be on your left thigh. And what you're in this position, you're going to slowly begin to take the shoulder backwards in this position. There, and come back. But think not the whole spine here, think just the shoulder. We're still the movement of the shoulder. So you stay looking in the front, you stay to the front, but you just take, that's it. You take the right shoulder backwards. And as you take the right shoulder backwards, think of the spine getting long and arch your back gently. So your belly will come forward. You drop the belly forward and down. That's it. You can also let your left hand slide forward as you do the movement to help with the twisting a little bit. And feel how your whole self can participate in that movement. Gentle. Excellent. And now just rest for a moment. I can't see you guys, but you're probably doing great. I wish I could see all you. But I'm glad you're on the call doing the lesson. So we're going to do the same thing as before this time. So you're going to lean on the right hand behind you. This time you're going to put your left hand on your right shoulder. So the left hand will go on the right shoulder instead of on the leg. Left hand on the right shoulder. And in this position, begin turning to look to your right. So as if you're going to look behind you to the right, gentle. There, and come back. And notice how the shoulder goes back, but also the head turns to the right and the left shoulder comes forward. Sense the movement of the ribs on the right side when you do that. Feel which direction they move. See if shifting the weight to the right side, to the right buttock, makes the turning easier. So you move your weight over to the right side, you lift your left hip just a little bit, and then back to place. So your weight will come over to the right, and it will make the turning, you'll feel it'll change that a little bit. Excellent. Look to make the movement easy, gentle, and slow. Very good. And now just rest for a moment. Now we've worked with the movement of the shoulder forward and back. So now just try that a few times. Take the shoulder forward and then backwards and feel how it feels for you now, the movement of the shoulder forward and back. Feel how as you move the shoulder forward, there's a slight turning to the left, and when you take the shoulder back, there's a slight turning to the right. So your whole body turns just a little bit with that movement. That's excellent. And now go ahead and rest for a moment. The rest give the brain the time to integrate the changes that happen from the movement less. So we definitely want to take some rest here for a few minutes. Now we're going to work with two more directions of the shoulder. We're going to have you take first the movement of the shoulder upwards. So you're going to take your right shoulder up in the direction of your right ear. So the right shoulder will go up in the direction of your right ear. Feel what happens on the right side of the rib cage when you do that. Excellent. And just rest for a moment. Now, to show how more your whole self can participate in that movement, you're going to take your right hand and you're going to put it on top of your head if you can. If you can't get it that high, you can put it, you can just imagine doing the movement if it's too much. But the right hand on top of your head if you can, and you're going to take everything over to the left shoulder. So you're going to take everything over to the left shoulder. That's it. Over and then back to place. Let the whole right side get long when you do that. Now there's a few different ways that people would probably do this. I can't see you, but I want you to show you at least two variations. So the first way is as if somebody was rocking over to the side like that. There and then back to place. So they take the whole body from the hip joints and they rock over to the left and back to place. So that's one way to do it. The other way is to lift the left hip and think of bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. So you actually lift the left side of your hip and you bring it so the shoulder and the hip on the left side come closer together. And you shorten on the left side, you get longer on the right side. So try those two different ways. One time rock side to side, and then one time shorten the left side. And feel the difference from those two movements. And then just maybe one more time, gentle. That's it. And just rest for a moment. You're doing great. And just feel the difference on the right side to the left and sitting. The shoulder, the right side of the neck, the chest on the right side compared to the left, how you're sitting on the right side compared to the left side, and see if you notice a difference. Now to help you get a better understanding of how the lower half of your body can help this movement, we're going to have you slide over on your chair. So you're going to slide over so that the right side of your bottom is off the chair. So it's like you're sitting on the chair with just on one side on your left side. So the right side of your hip and your pelvis, that will be off the chair so that it can move. Now again, put the right hand on top of your head. And this time as you take the left ear to the left shoulder, also let the right pelvis and the hip drop down. So it'll drop down and that whole side will get long. That's it. And as you do that movement, see to make the movement easy, comfortable, and light. So the shoulder and the hip on the right side go away from each other, they get long, and then they come back to the middle. That's excellent. Yep, very nice. Keep the breathing free. Let your shoulder be free. That's it. Excellent. And come back to go ahead and resting on the chair for a moment. So we've done forward and back with the shoulder, we've done up, but we're going to do one more movement and then we'll see how these movements of the shoulder tie into function or tie into other things that could be helpful for our child. So the last move we're going to do is taking the shoulder downward. So go ahead and a few times. You take the right shoulder and you move it down towards your right hip, gentle. And see how that goes for you. Taking the right shoulder down and then back to place. Excellent. Very good. And now go ahead and put your left hand, this time your left hand on top of your head. And you're going to take your right ear towards your right shoulder. So we're going to be doing the opposite of what we just did. The right ear will go towards your right shoulder. The right ear will go to the right shoulder. And see, see what, go ahead and do it again. See when you do that movement, that's it. Think of sinking the right shoulder down. That's it. You see, do it one time the way you did it before so people can compete. No, no, no. Yeah, you see, you actually were lifting the shoulder a little bit. You're doing that. So that's it. So just let your whole body sink on the right side. That's right. Excellent. And then back to place. Leave the right shoulder alone. That's it. Very good. And then back to place. Very nice. And just rest for a moment. Now again, go ahead and slide your right side of the pelvis off the chair. Just don't fall down, please. That's a movement, but not the one we want. So slide your right side off the pelvis of the chair and stay there. Your left hand will be on your head. And as you take your right ear to your right shoulder, at the same time, lift the right side of your pelvis. That's it. So the shoulder and the hip on the right side come closer together. They shorten there on the right side. Slowly. That's it. And come back. So the right hip lifts and the right shoulder goes down. So they come together. And look to make the movement easier. Soften in the shoulders. See if you can let your left shoulder be a little freer. Drop the shoulder on the left. That's it. That's excellent. There. And back to place. Notice how by using your whole self like that, it makes the movement easier, comfortable. That's it. And now just rest on the chair for a minute. Excellent. Very nice. And just feel for a minute how you're sitting. How your right shoulder feels, your right arm, the right foot, the right side of your hip, compared to the left foot, the left hip, the left shoulder, and the left side of your neck. Now go ahead and do some of those movements that we did. So move the shoulder up, move the shoulder down, move the shoulder forward, move the shoulder back, and just feel how that feels. So you move the shoulder up, down, forward, and back. And go ahead and slowly start making a circle with your shoulder. So you take the shoulder whatever way you want to make the circle. So here she's going back, the shoulder goes down, the shoulder goes forward. But think of just mostly the shoulder, and then the shoulder goes up, back, down, and do it quicker and sloppier. Not so good, not so perfect. There, 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 there. And now rest. Excellent. And now go ahead and do a circle the other way, slowly. So up, forward, down, and back. And do that a few times and see to make the movement circular, really circular. If you feel that it jumps or that it gets more like a square, go back to those places and see, maybe make the movement really, really small and just do small circles like that. Excellent. Excellent. Now just rest for a moment. So now we're going to incorporate the movement of the arm with this too, so that you can feel how this would affect once the shoulder and all that gets able to move easier and you're able to use more of your whole self, then you can bring in the use of the arm. So go ahead and put your arm out in front of you comfortably. It doesn't have to be completely straight, but as straight as you can have it where it is comfortable. Make a soft fist, and what you're going to do is you're going to make a circle with the arm. So you're going to bring the arm forward and then down. That's it. So the shoulder goes down, and think of the shoulder the whole time, and then back behind you, and then up. And if you look at the hand the whole time, it makes it easier. So that's it. So you look at the hand. So the hand forward, the shoulder goes down, the shoulder and arm go back, and then it goes up, and then down. And then go ahead and reverse the movement. So looking at the hand the whole time. So you make a circle. It's like you're drawing a circle on beside you. That's it. So behind, and then down, and then forward. And see, you look to see if you can use your whole self when you do that. That's it. You arch, you get tall, and then when you come back, that's it. You twist, and then you round a little bit. That's it. Excellent. And then you come forward, and then you get tall. Excellent. And now just rest for a moment. Excellent. Now just move your right shoulder in whatever direction you'd like and see how it is. So plop it forward, back, up, down, circles, whatever you want. Feel how that feels on the right side, how it moves. And now just a few movements, do it on the left side to compare if it's any different. Do the movement on the left side and feel how it feels. It feels as it's smooth, it's a little more clunky. Maybe try a circle or two on that side, feel how that feels. And now go back to the right side and feel if there's a clearer sense of how to move the shoulder on the right side than the left. A difference? Hopefully. And in resting, just feel how you feel now. So in sitting there, feel how you feel. Notice how you're breathing, how your posture is. Feel if you feel shorter on the chair, taller on the chair. Do you feel like you're sitting more forward or more back? Feel how the hip joints and your legs feel, how your arms feel. Go ahead and turn your head maybe to the right a little bit and then turn your head to the left. See if you notice a difference in the turning from one side to the other. Excellent. Very nice. Good. And if you had to say 2 words how you feel now, what would they be? So think about the 2 words at the beginning of the movement lesson and the 2 words now. And just feel if that's changed at all. And if it has, great. And if it hasn't, we need to do a few more lessons and you'll start feeling those shifts. So what I'm going to have you do now is I'm going to have Liz walk around and I'm going to have you walk around. And we're going to switch things up here a little bit. And as you walk around, I want you to feel any changes that you feel in standing. Feel how when you step, how the feet feel. Notice where your head is at in space. Do you feel heavier or lighter, shorter or taller? Just any changes you notice as you walk. That's excellent. So I hope you enjoyed that movement lesson. It wasn't a full one, but it gives you a taste of what it's like to do a movement lesson. There's tons of different ones that work with a variety of functions. So definitely you want to take advantage of those if you could. If you're a parent, especially with a child with special needs who's getting ABM lessons for them, to really take the time to do the lessons yourself. Anybody that comes here and knows me knows that I do lessons a lot. And I do them to help with the practice, the kids I work with. But people also don't know that I do them because they help me tremendously. Tremendously. So I know the reason I say that's important to do that is because a lot of parents invest time, they invest money, they stay at hotels and all these different things to get their kids lessons. And you see the transformation these kids make. I mean, you see it on the YouTube videos, you see it on Anat's page, you hear stories on my page, you hear it on other practitioners' pages. So if the kids can transform that much, the question is, what could a parent do? And so as you start doing the movement lessons, you'll start feeling that you'll feel shifts in your own body, and you'll start transforming right along with your child. So